And even if you were to have like a prompt of 10 different things, right? Like say if you had one prompt of like, oh, like here's 10 different personality traits, here's 10 different superpowers, here's 10 different drawbacks.
I like coming up with random list of powers and then just see what I come up with.
Imagine rolling just those things every single time. It's always going to vary. The possibility of that happening is, again, like a 1 in 10 chance, but it's like, it shows that there's an infinite possibility.
Always something else cool right around the corner that we can come up with, because there's no end to the prompts. There's no end to what we can roll up.
Now we're going to be officially rolling for superpowers. This is usually the make or break.
Oh, we're not in the same position.
I know. Great way to end this season. Ayo, and hello, everyone. It is us, your two weird unks, on the greatest show in the second dimension, Roll for Hero, a segment of the channel in which we let the dice dictate what on God's green earth we will be drawing for today. It is me, your ever weird and ever cracked out loving Uncle E. And of course, right next to me is, of course, our big bearded, bald-headed, beautiful co-star, claimed to be the world's sexiest man in 1969. You know him, you love him, Mr. Fish.
What is up, everybody? Benjamin coming in first place in the comments this morning with Dragon Gaming close behind. Dad Pool coming in. Glad to see his chats are coming through.
We got Jordan over there. Hey, howdy. Hey, how we all doing today? Our little nieces, nephews, and everyone else in between. I am super excited. For today is the season 2 finale of Roll for Hero, and the sci-fi saga is now coming to a close, as we will be rolling up our final character in this galactically strange and whacked out universe. Mr. Fish, how are we feeling for this overall universe? How are we feeling about it? Are we proud of all the RPs that we've made along the way, or do you think we've made some duds? Like, how do you feel about this overall season in general? I'm yapping too much. Talk for me now.
I like it. I'm proud of what we came up with. Yeah, as a whole, yeah, I'm 100% proud of what we came up with. I actually, we'll get to it later on, but I want to show you. I actually went back and finished my spaceship that I hadn't finished before. I went back and looked at everything to make sure I had finished what I needed to finish, and so I finished the spaceship, and it came out looking pretty cool. I'm proud of it. But yeah, that was the only one I kind of regretted from this season because it got away from me, and I didn't get it finished. I got too detailed and had to go back.
As we always do. We love all the details because they always bring up the smallest storytelling potential.
Indeed.
Correct.
All right. So, guys, what should we be rolling for? Like we were talking earlier today, what we're going to roll up for the last one. I think we may just roll up and see what we get, and then decide if we're going to make a hero or villain or whatever from what we get. I'm curious. I know Dragon Gaming out there says he hopes it's more villains, which I can't blame you. Villains are cool, man. Villains are the guys that get it all going. They're the ones that are willing to, burn it all down to make a scene.
They're the reason why heroes have to even exist to begin with. Without villains,
otherwise it'd just be a dude in a sweater watching NCIS on TV or something. Man, you got to have a villain to get you in your spandex, get you out the house, get you moving. So
exactly. And not only that, but before we continue any further, obviously, for those that do or don't know, Mr. Fish has actually launched his Kickstarter campaign for, of course, the Green Zone for the trade paperback. And if you guys want to go apprehend yourself or find a way to just support Mr. Fish in every way possible, please do so. He's actually just completed, the general stretch goal of having the book funded, but now we are actually getting to the awesome, cool stuff like the 3D models that you can get the STL files for, so that your, weird Uncle over here can probably print those, awesome miniatures and the cool vehicle that'll come out if that stretch goal is met. But outside of that, though, please go support Mr. Fish in obtaining this trade paperback. He has put his heart and soul into actually getting legitimate real life experiences and ensuring that you're going to be getting the best story possible. If Mr. Fish is known for very few things, it's this. It's the fact that he is the fastest pen of indie comics. He is also the best artist to bring up good quality stories, and of course, giving it to in the best way possible. But yeah, so go support Mr. Fish at gomrfish.com. Go fund the Kickstarter. Go buy his stuff. It is 100% worth your time. All the effort out there, and of course, every penny. It is worth every penny, in my humble opinion, that none of you asked for, but I said it anyways because I'm your weird Uncle E. And we
are close to unlocking the Cruiser Mini, and so everybody that gets the miniatures on the higher tiers, gets the 3D minis, like D&D sized minis. Everybody that gets the physical of those will get the physical print of the Cruiser Mini. Everybody that gets the digital files, so you can print them at home like Uncle E, will get the STL files for it. So it's really cool. And the guy that built the model for me told me he's going to fix the model in 2 different ways. So it'll work better if you have a resin printer in one, and it'll work better if you have a filament printer like Uncle E does. So there you go.
Hold on, Benjamin asked a question here. Next season, I'm gonna try dial it back so I can work on Nightwave, possibly write as a comic. Dude, honestly, I would love to see. Here's one thing I love about this show. Obviously, Benjamin over here pulling numbers on the amount of characters that he'd be rolling up. He'd be rolling up more characters than Fish and I ever will in our entire life.
Yeah, he putting me to shame on getting stuff knocked out, man. He's knocking out.
Sure. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I can like Dapple, everyone else on this chat, like y'all are just really spamming it and just really making that hashtag, really worth its time. By the way, if you guys are going to join along, grab some dice, grab a writing utensil, a surface to draw on, or heck, use Hero Forge if you want to. That'll be really cool, and it would be a really awesome way to be as interactive with creating fun characters. But outside of that, though, I just love the fact that one day we're probably going to be the reason why there's going to be a really cool comic book in a comic shelf or in a comic store or in the Barnes and Nobles out there. And it turns out he was just inspired by 2 weird uncles on the internet, inspiring them to just draw a character with plastic dice and your hallucinogenic imaginations, as we intend with this show. Oh man, I feel like we're functioning on 1% right now, because like right now I'm totally like I'm out, like I'm here but I'm not, and I feel like Fish is here but he's also not. I mean, you did a whole stream last night. I ended up popping in there saying what's up and whatnot, trying to gauge the combo on that.
Yeah, that client Joe in particular, he really likes doing the stuff on stream so that we can try and get interaction from people while we're working on it. And and I totally don't mind, especially when I got somebody that can help out reading comments and stuff while I'm busy doing the drawing. Because sometimes it's hard. We get busy and we get focused, and it's hard to do both.
You're so zoned in, locked in. It's actually the reason why sometimes like we had to like take a second mid break into the drawing. We like, all right, I gotta go read the comments and stuff like that. But yeah, other than that though, it's gonna be a great time, everyone. Make sure that you all get your dice and your writing utensil prepped up, and let us begin the end of season 2's Roll for Hero.
Indeed. All right. I'm not even gonna do the video because
I was gonna say, you wanted the pre-roll? Nah, I think we're just gonna go straight into it. We're just gonna go right at it, guys. Love parody heroes from TV shows.
Oh nope, that's not where we need to go. I'm on the wrong screen. There we go. I'm out of it. I've been not knowing it's Wednesday all freaking day. I've forgotten 2 or 3 different things today that I was supposed to do. All right. So we are rolling up our race. Let's see what we get here.
All righty. Rolling up, everyone. I know this is going to be probably more chilled out Roll for Hero episode. I mean, we try to end these things off on a fun note, but it's been one of those days. I had a whole wedding last week to attend to, and I just realized that was 1d6 and I rolled 2 because I exactly know what I'm doing, and I may or may not
sneeze. Your favorite one.
All right, what do we got? Wow, a 1. I have a superhuman.
All right, that's pretty awesome. I got an alien, which I'm glad. I got a robot originally, and I re-rolled it because dang it, I've had enough robots. I really like Cade Stringer's idea here about parody heroes from TV shows or cartoons. I did that for a minute on my old School of Fish, where I would roll up random powers, and then I would roll up like what old property they went into, like He-Man or whatever. And I got Care Bears on one of them, and it actually came out really cool and kind of scary. So I really like that idea. That would be fun.
Yeah, I mean, and that's technically what I'm doing right now with the Grub and stuff like that. He is like a technical parody, but he is his own character and whatnot because he's like a knockoff of Spider-Man. But again, that's a different topic for a different day. We're gonna be rolling up the element tables for anyone who's
something that needs an element. Here is the element table. 1 is fire, 2 is ice, 3 is water, 4 is rock, 5 is crystal, 6 is radiation. if you've rolled up something that needs an element. And then alien looks. I'm an alien, so let's see what we get.
So you're gonna roll for that one, and I am not because I have a superhuman.
Ooh, I haven't got that one before. That's going to be tough. Tripedal.
I think it'll be really. Oh, tripedal. Oh, that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, going for like a 3-part symmetry instead of 2 like we have. So we'll see how far I can take that one.
Oh yeah, and Doggone over here says characters from different time periods should be sick. Like one of them from the 70s, and he's a hippie. One from the medieval times, and he's like a royal knight. Okay, I mean you can't go wrong with that. And I mean,
Doggone, by the way, feel free to re-roll if you want to. I will give you permission to pick something else if you want. It's the last one of the season. You could do what you want. And not only that's one of the limitations about only having so many numbers to roll. But then the things get so small, it's hard to see. So,
oh yeah, and not only that, but also we should let everyone know y'all should stick around towards the end of the stream, just because of the fact we will actually be rolling up what our next setting is going to be for season 3 of War Hero. So if you guys want to know what that setting is going to be, what kind of characters we're going to be able to create. And if you guys have any suggestions on what kind of, characters could come about from this universe, please make sure to chuck those comments, into this amazing chat that we have right over here. Can't wait to see what we got. All right, hold on a second. We got random animals. I am not going to roll that because, again, I am sick and tired of the animals at this point, just because I feel like it always overrides. It always overrides, like, the actual abilities of it. Don't get me wrong. Some of these things are cool, but also I'm like, I probably could have just drawn a robot that did its own thing. I did the armadillo catfish, shark, whatever the heck it was thing. And it's great. The animals are fun, but it's also like it throws me off.
It's a challenge. It is a challenge.
For instance, when I did Freeze, what's it called? What do they call this guy? Blizzard Wasp. When I did this guy, all right, he was really interesting because I was like, oh, a wasp alien robot. That's pretty cool. Okay, nifty. This is pretty nifty. This one threw me for a loop because it's supposed to be an android.
Mm-hmm.
How that makes sense?
There's nothing saying that like a crustacean species would not design an android to look exactly like that.
Exactly. This is the one that threw me off the most. Because it had like
that one got the better of you. That one got away from you. I'll admit it.
Oh yeah, that totally was.
Duplication. I'm writing that down right now.
All right.
On my pink card. So
I only see random animals. I don't see any powers here.
Duplication. We're going to add that one to the list for next time. All right. Animal list. Now our power sets.
All right. Which is 1d6. It's going to be a numero tres with 1 major power.
Me too. Give it a second. An armadillo and a crab. See, now that's a cool combination. Oh man,
it makes sense.
A crab that could like roll up into a ball and attack. And I love that idea.
Actually. Oh, and then like think of it, the rolling up attack, and then you have the claws on the side, kind of a deal. So then it looks like they can actually
or like spin like a cannon bolt, like, but the claws are like steady, and you can.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Oh my god, that would be so freaking cool.
But as much as cool as that is, I need to just divert away.
That's not what I rolled, so I don't get to draw that.
Exactly.
Curse you, Dragon Gaming!
Listen, y'all get to do whatever you want, but with us, your weird unks on this show, we have to stick to what the dice tell us, which is the most.
Here's a list of minor powers. If anybody got that, you can roll it up. We didn't.
Yep, we didn't. I didn't. None of us got minor powers over here. We got major power.
And if anybody has any suggestions on anything that you think might make the tables cooler or more fun to roll on, let us know. I mean, we're trying to keep it simple so anybody can play with, a 6-sided dice because they're pretty easy to find. So that little caveat.
And I mean, not only that, but I will say this too. I feel like having to get rid of a few things like throughout the list. But then again, depending on how next season's going to operate, we're probably not even going to be utilizing any of these, things.
Oh yeah, it's probably going to be completely different if we, get.
So that's why if you guys stick towards the
outer
end of the
space
stream,
ghosts, it would be totally different.
Exactly. So that's the reason why if you guys stick towards the end of the stream, you guys could probably help us out. You know, at least get an idea, get the gears turning for
What
we
is
should
up, Eddie Bobby? All right,
hey, how we doing today? All right, now we have our major power. Roll a 3d6. I need to grab one more. That is going to be a numero ocho, which is going to be body weapons. Love that.
Man.
Okay. Something sci-fi with body weapons. I could see this being like a human that was probably affected by alien DNA, and then
Shark,
going
buffalo, and a wasp. Healing and intangibility, but they're on a time limit. Okay, cool. So they could like only stay intangible for so long, perhaps.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be neat. Like if you could only do it as long as you can like hold your breath or whatever, that could be really cool.
You know what? I feel like you should only incorporate the buffalo horns and then you should only incorporate the buffalo horns and then just make it all a wasp, because you know how there's like, horse spiders, or like whenever there's like a animal that has another animal's name in it, you should just call it the buffalo wasp and just leave it at that. Just there you go. I think that's pretty funny. All right, we got quirks. What is our quirks over here? We got to roll a 1d6. All right, that's going to be number 3, which is power is on a time limit.
You got it too. Eddie says, just finished teaching for the days. All is well.
All right. All right. Does that complete this overall list here? Or?
That is it for that. So now we are on to figuring out our characters. I'm going to take a tip from you, Uncle E, and I'm going to go ahead and write this down on the page, because when I was pulling them up on my other computer, I could not remember what some of the things I got were, because they were on a list in here. And that didn't help me any.
Okay, so that means I only have temporary. Okay. Body weapons. Okay. You know what? Let me just see the roster of characters that I have here. All right, I think I could probably end this note and this whole season. Now we're just gonna draw out the body frame and such.
Okay.
Jordan says, like the engineer from James Gunn's Superman. Oh, okay, that's actually a pretty cool idea, because that person is just basically like a giant, bodied, weaponed individual. That's not a bad idea. Love that. All right, and then we got Dragon Games saying got 2 minor and 1 major power. Ooh, that's brutal. Can't wait to see how that turns out.
Okay.
All right. Now this all takes place in the sci-fi universe. And actually, funnily enough, before we started the stream, I decided that I just came up with the title. If we had to give it like a Star Wars-esque kind of name, I would call it Starbound. I feel like that would be
I dig it. I really dig it.
It's like, it's the next issue of Starbound. And then it's like, what's it about? Is it about Jupiter Jack? Is it about, the rogue pilots or hunters within the stars? Who knows? Is it about Lord Dominus? Speaking of, Benjamin here would say, would it be interesting if Lord Dominus made a device that forced the robotic characters of both the Cosmic Coalition and the Dark Matter Coalition to combine into Voltron or Megazord things? Benjamin, you are not good for my unpotential diagnosed ADHD over here. And Miss
Not
Fisher,
cool, man.
Not cool, man. You're giving me an idea like that, and then you're thinking that we're not going to want to try to. Man, listen, I already got problems in trying to figure out how I'm going to even draw out my comics and stuff. And then now you got to chuck this at me, thinking that it's like, how dare you? just giving us good ideas like that. Our nieces and nephews, I tell you, they think they're all that in a bag of chips. And they probably are. I'm not sure.
No. That's not what I want to do. I'm gonna
Go
no, that's still the
feminine route on this one. Because I don't think I've drawn many female characters thus far for this season, other than the Mrs. Claus and like Miss Dobby, I think it was.
Yeah, the
Deceptile.
Yeah, she was an alien. Or, I mean, she was a female. Same difference.
Well, I mean, yeah, she was a feminine alien.
They're so alien to us. Mr. Nope in there saying hey to everybody.
Hey,
saying, what are your thoughts on the new Lego Batman game getting released? Ooh, I didn't even know there was a new Lego Batman game.
There is. I have heard of this, and honestly, because the whole point of this game is supposed to be like a culmination of all of Batman's like history in a way, from his original take to the comics to his first appearance in TV to what we currently have now. So it's going like from TV shows like, you know, the black and white series, the Adam West, and of course all the funny like Batman costumes that are out there, especially the rainbow costume, which is very funny. Yes, that's gonna be awesome. And then we got Eddie over here saying draw characters with the same colors and have one transform into the other like the Transformers do vehicles. He got it. He there's a point, and he got one, and that's a really interesting point he's making here. That's if we end up rolling up some. Well, I mean, I know Mr. Fish got some. He got something sparking in there.
No, I'm thinking. I'm dwelling. I'm considering and contemplating. I'm thinking of this trilateral symmetry, you know, with things being split up into threes instead of twos. It comes up with a certain amount of questions, like, you know,
how do they go to the bathroom?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's one. But like walking on three legs becomes a bit of an issue, or making him look cool when his arms could potentially go in either direction. Like, it's going to look weird if I have one of his arms twisted back, like it's going behind him, but he should be able to do that. And also, I got his power comes from a device. So I was trying to think through, but I think what I'm going to do is, if you remember on an earlier show, I was telling you about a comic a friend of mine, Lee Gaston, did. I think it was called Limits, where the guy got superpower gauntlets that gave him superpowers, but they only had so much, and you use it up, you're done. And he was burning up all his powers flying, and then had to like, I'm thinking about giving him the gauntlets from that. Like, maybe in this world, those gauntlets fell on his planet and he got them and they let him fly around like that and be a superhero. And but I'm just thinking through it. Like, what does he wear clothes or not? And what do clothes look like?
What kind of clothing would it wear?
Yeah. I mean, how does his head work? It's a whole thing.
If we get too much into logistics, it's gonna ruin the fun, in my opinion. Like, there are some times where you need to apply logistics. There are. Now, I feel like personally, it would be funny if this guy had specific pants tailored to his three legs. Maybe that's what happens in his planet. Maybe that's just how it is.
Usually, I really enjoy getting lost in the details of how things work, because that's what like sparks my imagination. Like, thinking through how would the chairs in their spaceships be, you know, if they have space flight? What would the seats on their bus look like? You know, just all the things. How would you carry weapons around if your body could go in any of three directions at any time? You know, you don't necessarily have a back to throw things on. So how would you carry stuff? it's just, those kind of things really get me thinking, and I like that. But I'm gonna make him a superhero. I'm gonna make him a full-time hero. He's just an alien world version of the character Lee did. Make it female with a third leg, Mr. Fish. I absolutely could be female. I don't think we'd be able to tell with this guy because they don't. I'm not drawing them as like. I'm not even really thinking of them as a mammal or anything. Like I'm thinking more. I'm thinking more virus in my head, like when I think through the body. Really.
Oh, like that one. I don't know the name of the virus, but it's one that kind of looks something like this. I think it was, and then it has like a little something like that.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking sort of like that, where it's the parts are very segmented and almost insect-like or crustacean.
Crustaceous-esque.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if that's the proper wording for it. Okay. And then we got Eddie saying stuff would be carried internally, and he has access to different weapons as it shifts forms. Okay, like maybe it would be cool that like those gauntlets could also turn into bracelets or something like that. Become like these cool like automatic, kind of like Tony Stark's thing where he had like a watch and he was able to transform into a mini repulsor ray, something like that.
I see what you're saying.
And then we got Dragon Game saying, for my powers, I got healing, gills, and body weapons. For the quirk, I got major transformation. Oh, look at that.
I like that one. Like a Captain Planet, Shazam, kind of like, it's a big major, or a werewolf, or, whatever, like it being a major transformation into your powers and you don't look the same. It's not just, Spider-Man always has them and pulls his mask on and now he's Spidey. Like, you're not Spider-Man until you do your fancy Power Ranger move and then, you've got the powers. Where like Power Rangers would be a good example. You might know karate, but you don't have superpowered karate until, it's morphin time and you transform. Perfect example. Good job, Uncle Fish. Keeping in touch with the young people and the modern hit slang like Power Rangers.
That's the same laugh I do when I bug the fiance.
Oh yeah, buddy. Oh, I get the weirdest little cackle when I make the stupid jokes that make my wife roll her eyes at me. I am just in heaven. I am having the best time. And I always get to giggle. I was like, you don't know how lucky you are. People would pay good money to have this kind of comedy. You're getting it for free in a sexy package to boot. Look at you. Idle of millions.
Yeah. The one that was a funny thing my mom pointed out too. We had like a whole little wedding shower, and my mom was just like, the one thing I always notice with these two is that they are just always laughing. And that's just because I make her laugh, because heaven forbid she sees my face. Whoo, she's in for a grim reality.
Oh, let's see. We got kind of behind in the comments there.
I was trying to get into those.
Powers. I got healing, gills. Whoops, it missed again. Body weapons. For the quirk, I got major transformation. Arma Crabbo. Try to make it a fish-themed character, but that it's coming to my head. What are your thoughts on Paramount?
That's what's going to his head. And then what are your thoughts on Paramount owning Warner Brothers, which means Ninja Turtles and DC are both owned by Paramount, and Paramount now owns Cartoon Network. Oh. Yeah, when you think about that too, because Nickelodeon had a fat grasp on Ninja Turtles for a while, especially with the 2012 series. And I remember growing up with that too. Man, that's pretty crazy. Honestly, I really don't know how to really answer that, just because it's I don't know. It's companies being companies, they're being greedy. But I mean, then again, who wouldn't be?
Eventually, they're all going to be owned by Walt Disney Hasbro, and it's not going to matter anymore.
Exactly. I wouldn't be surprised if the next thing I know, I end up seeing Leonardo right next to Cinderella at the castle or anything like that. I wouldn't be surprised by that at all.
Oh yeah, April O'Neil is going to be a freaking Disney princess.
No, but she's part of the new quirky age Disney princesses, right next to Anna and Moana and
oh no,
Merida.
Ooh, I wanna die.
All right, I would love to see Paramount as a boss. Like, I would love to see Prometheus as a boss in Batman games, or move in the future with his helmet. Honestly, it's like the writers forgot about him sometimes. I may know about a lot of characters, and I probably know Prometheus, but I also don't. Again, it's been a minute. I haven't read. I'm not much of a Batman reader. As much as I am a comic fan, I don't read a lot of comics. I read primarily the cool stuff, like the Green Zone that you can go support now on GoMrFish.com. Alice Lost in Wonderland that you can also go get at GoMrFish.com. And
but I get it. Like, I'm the same way. That's one of the reasons that I read so much indie comics, is because it's so easy to keep up with everything that's going on in, say, the world of Green Zone, because you could pick up the trade right now and have everything. You have more than anybody has ever had of Green Zone, all in one place, and the handbook entries to tell you all about the characters and stuff. I can't get that if I jump into a Spider-Man or Batman story right now. There's so much stuff that's gone on over the last few years that I don't know what's happened. And I would have to buy, 50, 80 comics just to get a basic catch up on what's going on. And
that's what they want you to do this whole time.
That's why I keep buying indie comics. And a buddy of mine is on me about that, saying, you need to read the popular stuff so that you know what you're competing with. And I see that point, but also, like, I like the stuff I'm reading, and it's interesting, and it's new, interesting takes from voices that you're not going to hear a lot of from on, in mainstream comics. Like dude's been going on and on about how long it's been. PJ's been going on about how long it's been since DC's had an ongoing black focused series, with a black main character, and it's been like 1,000 something days now. That's crazy. That should not be the case. There's so many awesome characters like Mr. Terrific and what is her name? The Amazon Nubia, is it the Amazon?
I'm not fully sure. I do know of Icon. I know the typical, like, Static Shock. Icon.
Milestone has so many they could be pulling from, and they're starting to with the Milestone reboot thing they're doing in there, which is, I'm glad they're doing it, but they still have just shown, like, repeatedly, they don't care about, like, they don't put priority on voices from creators of color, and they come up with some awesome stories. Like, why would you want to discount all these awesome voices? But they'll turn around and say, well, it doesn't sell well, but also you don't push it, and you don't put the effort into getting the word out about it like you do for the next issue of Batman.
But and I will say that I feel like that topic is also like a double-edged sword to an extent, because I also agree that yes, we need to have more newer characters out there, but fans have to be just as excited for these newer set characters. Like, for instance, when like when Falcon became Captain America. Okay, that's great. We get to have, a black character become, the face of America, because Captain America is like the American superhero and stuff like that. And I'm not against it. But you did kind of take away from the fact that Falcon is actually, his own character, his own his own person. He didn't need a Captain America title. But if you focus on telling a good Falcon story, it would have, it would have given him the representation he needed. It would have shown that he is a character that can be on his own without, having to be like another Spider person or, taking on the mantle of another hero,
Yeah, and that's another part of the problem is they also don't ever let the characters age, or they don't want the status quo to change, because you always want to be able to sell those Captain America t-shirts that you had somebody draw back in the 80s, and you always want to keep that stuff handy to be able to resell it, and you don't want to mess with the IP too much because you got new cartoons to make and all of that. So they won't let like Peter Parker grow up and retire or die or any of that stuff, because you got to have a Peter Parker Spider-Man, because that's what Grandpa knew and that's what he told his kids about, and that's what they're coming to look for when they pick up a comic. And who's this Miles kid? No, that's not Spider-Man. If a character can grow and die and change, it's a lot easier to bring up another legacy character and let them take over, whether they take the mantle or they take their own name like Nightwing did instead of just being Batman. And to me, that's a really interesting story, but they let Dick Grayson grow up and do that. I mean,
and then
half the time he's still 20 something. He's not he's not in his 40s now like he should be, but it's better than nothing.
And I mean, yeah, I very much agree with that statement there. We got Rodrigo asking, what are your thoughts on the Mortal Kombat 2 trailer starring Carl Urban as Johnny Cage?
That looks really good.
I mean, at least they're starting off with Johnny Cage and not an original character, like how they did in the movie that did come out. They just had a completely different original character for it, which it's like cool. I'm glad we got a fresh new perspective. But Johnny Cage could have been that, so I'm really hoping that they really get to explore more with the Johnny Cage aspect of that, with that role. Yeah, he has the fame, the fortune, but also he would actually have the means to travel around the world, actually have to fight, and try to get like a whole thing out of it. I think that could also be like a fun commentary on how films can be made and like what's the overall process of it. But I don't know. Mortal Kombat, again, fighting games have the strangest lores and stuff like that, so I really wouldn't know how to dive into that.
That it does. But I wasn't hopeful when I heard about it, but watching the trailer, it was really good. It was really good, and I'm excited for it now. I still kind of half think they're gonna let me down, but I'm hopeful. And that's something I haven't been in a while. No, I haven't seen the new Scary Movie trailer. I haven't.
I saw part of it scrolling through TikTok, and yeah, it's been a minute since we actually had a fun comedy film like that in a while.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Speaking of in the comments, speaking of posting on Instagram, here is Ben Art's sketch. I'm guessing a caveman design for
expand his. We don't need to be seeing what I need to be.
Metal Elemental for Roll for Hero. If anybody else has one, I'd ask if you guys got some time to think about the video where you repost some of our drawings. I'd really love to see one of my drawings on one of you guys' YouTube videos. Where's it at? Did you tag it Roll for Hero? And where? If I can go look for it, I absolutely will. Let's back over here, off screen for a minute, because that's the only one I found under Roll for Hero, other than stuff that I posted, like our videos and stuff. That's all I found so far. Scrolling down pretty far on Instagram. Let me look on ye old tube of you. Let's see what we get.
Hello. All right.
I'm gonna look on the YouTube on my community page, see if anything's over there. So I know Dadpool tends to post things over there. Community. See if we got anything new. Images. Nope. That was 3 months ago. Newest. Let's see what that gives me. Yep, that was 3 weeks ago. It's the newest one I have from Dadpool. That was Buzz, the electric beetle dude. Let's see. I tagged it Roll for Hero, and it's on your community, Mr. Fish. Because the only thing showing up is that. Let me look. Let me see my notifications if I can find it in the game tab.
Alrighty. Yeah, goes for a while. This is how it be, though.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it there. Let me search hashtag Roll for Hero, see if it shows up. Whoops. I gotta spell it right. It's Roll for Hero, not Rule for Hero. Silly fingers, type right. That's just our videos. It amazes me all the stuff that comes up that has absolutely nothing to do with hashtag Roll for Hero in a search.
Yeah, the one that always is funny for me is that whenever I looked it up on Instagram, I would always see the one like show called Higglytown Heroes. So what I grew up with during like the early Disney age, and there were a bunch of these little characters that were like Russian nesting dolls, and they were just trying to show off like the idea of what it means to be like a true hero, but like as a mailman or a construction worker, or law enforcement, whatever the heck it is. I always thought that was funny. I was like, yeah, that's what gets lumped up with Roll for Hero. That was the funniest one that always tends to pop into mind.
Let me pull this over here so we can all see my YouTube page. We're gonna go to community. Maybe it'll show up when it reboots again. Let's see. There we go. 1 minute ago. There we go.
Mine is drawing a superpowered Latina potentially.
Okay, I like that. I like the being split down the middle, the red eye, the blue eye. That's cool.
Oh, that's actually awesome. It reminds me of a D&D character I once drew. Okay, I remember seeing something like that. That's gnarly. Like, that's awesome, man. I really hope you keep going at and developing that art of yours. It actually gets me wondering because I know for a fact that.
So what is the power going on here in this one? Like, my first thought is like blue electric lava, but I'm not sure. It could be, some interdimensional energy or something going on. Those could be portals behind him. So I'm not going to guesstimate, but you let me know in the comments. And I'm going to go back to drawing my crazy alien superhero monster dude. I wonder, that's not quite good enough, but it's almost good enough. I'm going to try coloring this and see how it does.
Sometimes the hairstyles is always what
Blue electric magma when he's powered up. All right. I was right. Good deal. Oh, it's smart after all. Let's see. Grab all that.
Turns out he has a brain underneath all those good looks.
Yeah, not just a sexy keister. I'm a beautiful mind as well. All right. I'm thinking purple because I don't know a lot of purple characters.
Yeah, that's so true. Well, I mean, I only got like one or two of those, but still.
Definitely helps give a alien vibe to me. A
yeah,
not from our planet vibe.
Oh yeah, I definitely need to give off those vibes, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't think he's from. Yeah. Uh-oh.
Okay, that's why.
Disappeared and it beeped there for a second.
And it turns out he is gone.
Am I gone?
Oh no, you're not. You're here, but you're okay. There we go. Now our screens are just switched around. You hopped in and out, buddy.
So I was the beep because it never changed on my screen here, but I heard the beep like somebody dropped in, and
yeah, no, it's
weird.
Strange it is indeed. Strange it is indeed.
La la la. Okay, there was a lag there for a second, but it's not bad now. That person right there asks, I wanted to ask, when are you going to do a new Great Value series video?
Dude,
because
honestly,
I'm going to feel bad if I butcher that name.
Your guess is as good as mine. I've really been, it's just been a lot recently. I'm also just, yeah, there's no excuses. Laziness has hit me a lot, and I'm not going to excuse that. That's not really fair for you guys nor me. It does hit like a truck, but also, I had a few things in life, but not to the point where I couldn't make a video. What's it called? But I do have to guess at this point, I can't tell how I should start formatting those videos because I feel like I take a long time editing those. So I want to try to find the most efficient way, like wondering if I should like show you how I designed the character and then just draw the cover, or I should just kind of draw the cover and just kind of go from there just to make it easier on myself,
Yeah, that's hard. Like, in being a creative, your first intention is to go in hard and make it as cool as you possibly can, but then that also means making it as complex as you possibly can, and that makes it hard. That makes it real hard.
Well, not just that too. I mean, I actually have been working on comics as well. I've actually worked on The Grub, and I'm currently working on The Grub issue number 2. Actually, yesterday, I finished pages 3 and 4. I just finally finished page 4 today because I just did the speech bubbles. That's all I had to do for that one, just because I took care of most of the art yesterday. So my primary goal is that I wanted to create, comics, and that's been my biggest goal. That's actually what I wanted to make a video about, where I'm like, oh, I'm actually working on a comic book. It's called The Grub. Here's what it's about, and kind of give you all the details as to how that even started and stuff like that. So,
all right, I apologize, Dragon Gaming. It absolutely, you got #RollForHero right there in the thing. It was not showing up in the search for whatever reason. I don't know why. That is a cool looking character, though.
Oh, that is awesome.
The snake body and the copper armor. That is cool stuff. And then transformed into the cobra head and pulling the energy across. I haven't even tried doing colors like that on there. That's really beautiful. Oh, I like that snake variation too. Like, the cobra head is cool, but also like cobras are done a lot. This is really neat design. Yeah, Instagram's weird. I was so glad when it started showing the searches finally in the results, and then now it gets goofy again. But I don't think it was really ever designed to be able to search for stuff like, not like YouTube is. So I don't think they put as much effort into that. And I'm really disappointed in the way Instagram does some things because, like, when my account got hacked and I lost access to my account, they fired everybody, every human being that worked in that department to help you get your account back because they had them write a foolproof list of instructions online that'll help you get back into your account unless somebody hacked your account and changed the email address, because their instructions, which I've been through nearly 1,000 times, are, oh, are you having trouble getting into your account? Well, let's reset your password. Oh, you can't get into your email account that it's set to so that you can reset your password? Well, that's easy. Just log into the app and change your email address. Oh, you can't log into the app because you've been hacked? Oh, I understand. Let's help you reset your password and fix that. Oh, you can't reset your password because you don't have access to the email? That's easy. Just log into the app and reset your email. Oh, you can't log into the email because you're hacked out? You're locked out by a hacker that changed your email? Oh, we can fix that. Just log in, reset your password. Oh, you can't do that? Log in and change it. Oh, you can't do that? Over and over and over and over again.
Makes me it sounds like crazy. I was crazy once. They locked me in a room, a rubber room with rats. The rats made me crazy. Oh, crazy. I was crazy once. They locked me in a room, a rubber room with rats. The rats made me crazy. It sounds like that. That's what it sounds like.
It's very similar. I went round and round and round until finally I gave up and started harassing people. Like, I just started calling the helpline and going to any channel I could find where I could get an actual human, and most of them hung up on me. But eventually I got to something in like having trouble with your corporate sales, and if your sales ads for your big corporation weren't going through, you could talk to a real person. And I bugged that guy enough, and he finally felt bad for me and just told me they fired everybody that works in that department. So the online thing is all you have. Sorry, that's all I can do. There is nobody to forward you to. Because I was hoping at least, like, I know it wasn't his department, but maybe he would know where to send me to a real person. And there aren't real people anymore for that. And that's stupid.
And that sucks.
And I had to rebuild an Instagram account from scratch again. And the worst part's having to rebuild your algorithm all over again, because, man, I had so many cool artists and stuff on there, and that was all I ever see. And now, like, half of my posts are, girls young enough to be my daughter swinging their personality in the camera.
Gotta love that.
And I get that they know I'm a guy, so they're like, oh, yeah, this is what you're going to want. I got a wife. I don't need all that. But it hasn't had the time to figure it out. And little Kyron Silva from California, because he sends me stupid memes, I started sending him stupid videos right back. And so now my feed is a mix of like some cool artists that I follow, some scantily clad young ladies bouncing around because, I'm a guy and they assume that's what I'm after. And then some of the dumbest stuff you've ever seen in your life, which has really polluted my feed because I send Kyron more videos and more text than I send my wife now. Because
that's kind of reminds me of my fiance and her coworker friend. And essentially, like, till this day, she is most likely, she's most likely sending her a meme of some kind, either a racist meme because, they're both Hispanic. My, fiance is Colombian, her friend is Mexican. So she'll either send some Mexican adjacent joke, a funny meme in general, or a gay one because they are like quote unquote gay for each other.
Yeah.
And it's super funny. She's always showing me all the memes and on some. So I'm like, all right, yep. Seems to be on par for the course of this friendship here.
Like, I did not know the amount of, like, I did not know I know the internet's a weird place, and I know that people are weird, and you give them an anonymous place, they can explore their interests. It's gonna get weird. I
Yep.
did not expect some of the stuff that came across my feed, like as jokes, but like I never imagined that there would be like, Down syndrome thirst trap videos and
Oh,
stuff.
those are. Yeah, and that becomes even weirder. Not weirder, but it does become extremely controversial,
That's very
especially because.
uncomfortable for me because I mean,
Oh, it's not. No, here's a fun fact about those. Those are now some of them could actually be for all we know people who happen to have that, but then there are those that put on a filter that makes you look like you have Down syndrome, and then they post content like that out there.
that's even weirder.
And it's worse.
That's
No, you're just
somebody's thing, man.
a whole group of individuals. It's I don't know. It's really messed up.
That's the thing that made me come around because I grew up in a different age and whatnot, and everybody was always saying that, like, sexuality was a choice and whatnot, and they're just making a bad choice. And I was like, well, I mean, if it's a choice, then I'm just not going to choose that. But the fact is, I don't think I could ever really enjoy kissing a guy with a mustache. I don't want to kiss a girl with a mustache. I just don't think I would like that. I don't like the bristly. I don't. My mustache, another mustache is going to cause a fire. It's not my thing. If it's your thing, enjoy. But then you see some people that are into like some real weird stuff, and I'm like, I don't think somebody just woke up one morning and said, you know what I want to do today. I don't think you get to some of these places from there. Some of those places, I think you just made me come around to the fact that I think some folks are just born there, and
There's a lot of circumstances that led up to this event, and we are very unsure of how we got here, or we have no idea how some people got there.
Oh yeah, and it's not to say that your personal experiences or traumas or whatnot can't have an effect on things, but some things just kind of make me think, yeah, I don't think we started from the same place. And I'm not shaming anybody for nothing, as long as nobody's getting hurt and everybody is willing, consenting participant, I got no beef with nobody. I don't want to participate, but I got no beef with you. I want you to be happy.
The question is, do you have veggies with them? That's the true question.
Oh man, I'll have. I was gonna say I'll have a celery stick, but I wouldn't eat a celery stick to save my life. I would die first.
Not even doused in ranch?
No, they cause a visceral reaction in me. Them and carrots, like I can bury them in other stuff. Like if I can bury them in a stew or something, and be okay. I'll get a little bit nauseous, but not bad. But like if I just like eat carrots, I will throw up. I don't even want to kiss a girl with a mustache. I gotta clip that audio, says Eddie. Yeah, we get to weird places sometimes. I apologize, Vapor Rub. But when you walk around with a name like Vapor Rub, conversation's already starting at a weird place. I'm a big fat zombie. What do you think? No, that's
oh no. Okay, wait. Who are you? Who are you? Because there was a specific reference, a specific joke. Who are you? Who on God's green earth are you? Because no one knows that joke other than my family. Nah. Wait, who's that? Because there's only someone dumb enough to have that kind of name as well. I say that lovingly, of course, lovingly.
What side are these characters going to be on? I think my guy is like a local planetary hero. Like, he's like the Spider-Man or whatever for his world. He got these gauntlets and he's protecting his world and making it a better place. I wouldn't kiss a woman screaming at me. I wouldn't kiss a woman screaming at me or with a mustache. I wouldn't kiss a man with the mustache either. I wouldn't kiss anyone giving me the death glare. Well, there you go. You got to have your standards, okay? You got to have your standards. I quit kissing people giving me the dirty looks a long time ago. Got a lot less felonies after that.
This is true. Yeah, but I'm about to commit a felony to vapor rub over here. I feel like that's my cousin because there's only it's such a dumb niche reference. I'm gonna hurt you when I see you. Not in a. Anyways, it's a familial thing.
Not in a get yourself banned from YouTube kind of way.
Yeah, exactly. I need to keep some kind of a presence here. Just doing anything with Radiant Knight and reboot Extra Force. Oh, shoot. Yeah, the Extra Force. For 5 seconds, I almost forgot what you were talking about there. Shoot, now that you mention it. Radiant Knight, I have no idea. Personally, just because I feel like, for one, that character design's way too much, and I'm not going to like myself in the process of making that book. But I do know I could probably get to the fun, cosmic, trippy side of things if I let myself go. Not against the idea
I think he would fit well into this world.
Honestly. Oh, 100%.
Fit well 100%. Over here. I would just move him. And
for sure. I mean, then again, the character didn't really have like an established setting to even be a part of. So that would make a lot more sense. With Extra Force, now that you kind of said that, that is actually a really it helps me out a lot because I am planning on continuing this comic that I'm working on right now. And I might as well show y'all in the process because I at least have the thing here. So I finally got to a cool pose because I was like stuck on I could have just done the character symmetrically, but I'm like, nah, I got to be different this episode. Anyways, I'm currently working on this character, the Grub, and I actually came up with like a few villain concepts, and I'm trying to plan out some covers, which will give me an idea for what I want to work on later on. And I actually wanted to do something with this. So this is actually the cover that has the Grub in a situation where he's about to be attacked by a supervillain called Electrolyte. He was like this original like super hero now turned super villain, and he was part of a Teen Titans team in this universe. And the fact that he brought up Extra Force, I feel like that could be a really good segue into like having him be part of that team and then him betray the team, try to kill the Grub. It's a whole thing. But I mean, I'm not against that idea. I actually might even use the Extra Force just as like, characters that exist in the world of the Grub.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Benjamin's on team bring Radiant Knight over.
Oh yeah, I mean, if it works, it works, and I feel like it definitely does. I mean, it's just more or less. Again, that's if we decide to. Personally, I think it would be interesting if we bugged TS and like kidnap and be like, all right, you're gonna write this whole Starbound universe because we said so, and we're gonna create the Jupiter Jack universe, and we're gonna have the Radiant Knight in there. Basically, just create Space Avengers, and we're gonna have a good time. Yeah. That's how I think we should go down.
Somebody popped into my live last night with Joe Solis as I was drawing his picture. And as I was talking about how much I want to have some kid-friendly stuff at the booth, at the table when I'm at cons, and have been looking at some stories to do, somebody had to mouth off and suggest doing the Jupiter Jack Meteor Mandy world. I'll be danged if I can't get that idea out of my head since then.
It is a perfect idea. I mean, that commenter was probably, a really nice commenter who just really enjoyed being part of the environment, of getting to see you draw a staple-headed.
Probably kind, thoughtful, sexy son of a bee. Probably. Yeah. Get me all thinking and getting me all creative, man. I don't know what's wrong with people these days.
I know. Here they are trying to make us innovative, creative people. The nerve.
Don't they know I already got books to put out? Like Green Zone, Life in the Block, straight paperback, available now at GoMrFish.com. It's got a few more days left. Honestly, I don't know how many days. It's a week because it's going to end next week. That's what it is. It is a week. So I should say 7 days to go. And we are 11 backers away from the next milestone goal, which will release the Bellamy sticker, which is her right there, be a sticker of her head. We already released Virgil's sticker at 50 backers. And we are $122 away from releasing the car as a STL file or as a 3D mini if you get that tier, or if you get it as an add-on. If you get the regular set of the 4 miniatures, then you'll get it too. But yeah, available now. Go MrFish.com or go to Crank Stomper. Type in Green Zone, one word.
All right.
Speaking of Tourette syndrome, that little tick right there is something I picked up from a friend of mine, because you don't think about it, but when people with Tourette's are around each other, we tend to set each other off, and we tend to pick up each other's ticks, which makes a lot of people really concerned about the idea of like sending their kid to Tourette summer camp, because they're afraid their kid's going to pick up a whole lot of ticks, and people are going to pick on them more when they get home or whatnot. But the amount of friends that you make that like understand what you're going through and can commiserate with you and support you when you're going through a hard time is so much more valuable than any little tick you might pick up. And like, I picked that tick up from a friend of mine from California on a video that he made grocery shopping, just encouraging people to get out of the house and do the things they're afraid to do. And he has this little tick of that he does. It sounds a little bit different with him, but for whatever reason, I picked that tick up watching his video, and it has now been probably 12 years, and that is still a freaking tick that I have every single day. And if I have a big burst of ticks where I yell out something crazy, that almost always punctuates the end like a period. And my family has come to look for that when I yell something, to know, like, did he really need something or was it a tick? And and sometimes you yell out something stupid like the cat has a day job, and doesn't really mean anything, and then you get at the end of it, and it they're like, oh, he's just ticking. It's funny, but every time that happens, I remember my buddy Matty, and I think about him and I smile a little bit because of that tick. That's pretty freaking cool, man. Vapor Rub says, I've always wanted to sing "You're Welcome" to a small group of people, but I've never built the courage, he says.
All right, that's
throwing in more secret, one-of-a-kind hints for what should be Uncle E, but is apparently Mr. Fish as well. Because we both got the same title today.
That is my cousin.
Damon says he can't wait for Green Zone. I'm excited that you can't wait. You're gonna. I was working on some of those deleted scene pages today, and it was really fun and exciting. I'm getting to show a little bit more of like the super world of, the people that have powers and get to use them full time. You get a bigger hint into that world, and I'm excited to show that off.
Because it also doesn't the trade have a story that Bear wrote, or no?
Oh yeah. We co-wrote it and he illustrated it. It came out really beautiful. And in Green Zone, there is, if you're lucky and you end up a genome and you look like Danny, but maybe you have a cool power that actually would make you useful as a hero, or as a civil servant. And when you live in a world where anybody could have superpowers or be a super intellect, and, you know, create giant ice monsters to attack the town or take over people's mind and use them as, you know, a big psychic collective to rule the world. You need powered individuals to help fight that kind of stuff. The cops can't fight all that. So if you look good like Danny and you got big powers like somebody else, then, you know, maybe you could go pro. And if you do, then that's what Alpha does. Alpha is this international organization that hires and, you know, they equip, they send you out on missions. They're watching all the news, all the feeds, all the, you know, surveillance feeds and everything. And their analysts are looking at what's going on. And then they pick, like, okay, you know, Captain Atomic would be the best guy to go take on this dude and send you out for that mission. But when Captain Atomic is off planet and you can't send him to that mission, what are you going to do? Because this is one of his, you know, one of his regular villains that's threatening to kill everybody in the bank if Captain Atomic doesn't show up, but he's 1,000 light years away. You send in the B team, and the B team is a group of heroes that specifically impersonate other heroes like Captain Atomic. And you have a variety of guys that have different power sets. Like, one of them is a shapeshifter who can look and sound exactly like Captain Atomic, but he's a living blob of putty and, you know, doesn't have any of the powers. So it's all show and no go with him. Usually he can intimidate people into stopping, but he also doesn't really pay attention, and he doesn't read the files on the bad guys he's going after and gets surprised, you know. Then there's the kid who's big bowed up farm boy, doesn't look anything like Captain Atomic and has to wear a mask, but he can go toe to toe a lot of the time and, you know, take a punch and bust through walls and stuff. And then there's the old man who has this exosuit that lets him fly and have super strength and shoot electricity and stuff, but it has a holographic field around it. So it works, but it's not real good up close, and you really don't want him getting caught on the news in that. Like, he's real effective for using powers, but he, you know, they all have their drawbacks. And so they have to go in and try and save the day and figure out who's going to attack and coordinate their attacks. And it's really, really been, it's really fun. I want to do more of their stories as well.
I was going to say, because the way that it sounds like for the Alpha team, it kind of sounds like that they're just Dispatch, but before Dispatch the game came out.
Oh yeah, I mean, a long time before Dispatch came out. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of like taking the ideas from the old days of Image, where everybody worked for a corporation and, you know, were being sponsored and put on teams like Youngblood and Wildcats and stuff. It's kind of that idea, except, you know, the FBI mixed with an international corporation. Like, they're largely trying to use this stuff for the betterment of the world and coordinate stuff, but also, like, they are bigger than governments and will send people in to handle issues, whether that government likes it or not sometimes. But this way, you know, the characters that can help the most are getting sent places that they can be the most help. And honestly, it's the core mechanic of my role-playing game that I've been doing all these years, because it makes it real easy to send people on different missions every week without them having to dig through the newspapers to find, you know, secrets, to put together the puzzle to figure out who the bad guy is. They can just get sent on missions because, you know, the analysts are doing this. They always have a guy in the chair to answer their questions. They have a research and development team that can build them custom weapons and gear if they want something special. You know, they get flown around the world to these missions. And it's a great way to explain why, you know, like, Uncle E was here for this game this week, but then he had to work next week. Well, on the next mission, they didn't need him as a, you know, for this mission. They needed somebody else that tags in for Uncle E. And so it's a great way to switch people in and out week to week when they can't show up for a game. And or, you know, if you're in the middle of a mission, something's going down across town, Rocket Fist gets called away in the mission to explain why he's gone now, and, you know, we continue on. Let's see. Vapor Up says, I have one of my most annoying ticks was the phrase, Chicano, can I borrow your sweats? He says, which I'm guessing is supposed to mean something to you. I don't know. Dragon Gaming says, so in Green Zone, do normal looking people have better powers and the different looking genomes have strange or not as powerful powers? No, it doesn't have any real connection like that. It's just if you look normal, you get a lot better privileges. And part of what Alpha does, they don't do it on all of their teams, but they absolutely do send TV crews and drones out to film certain teams that they send on like really cool looking missions, but not like real giant life threatening missions. Like you're not going to put the fate of the world in these guys' hands. They're more reality stars, but it helps build up positive propaganda and positive, public feelings about Alpha and keeps you supportive of their heroes that they send out, because occasionally they send out people that, make a mistake and end up blowing up a building or something. And, they want to build up all that positive feeling with the community by sending out handsome, pretty people to, fight local bad guys and get on, have cool episodes of their TV show. And, so there's all kinds of aspects of it. They've got dark ops teams that go out and do stuff. They actually, even though it is illegal to like operate or deal with mutant animals in this world, and just for a record, like Virgil is not a mutant animal. He just has scales and horns and looks like a horny toad, but he's not an animal. It's illegal to work with animals. They don't have any rights at all. But Alpha employs a lot of them actually. And you can get your citizenship really quickly through Alpha if you're an alien and have handy powers. Like Goliath is a dude he's a psychic that can grow 100 feet tall and like shoot ice rays. So, they gave him a deal of, even though he's a pacifist and didn't want to fight anybody or hurt anybody, they're like, look, you can work for us and you can fight the bad guys and save the day, or we can put you in a giant room and study you forever and never let you out and possibly dissect you if we feel like it. And he chose, let's get citizenship and be a hero on TV because, that's better than the alternative. Let's see. Jordan says, what if you guys create your own 80s action cartoon characters? See, I like that idea too. I almost thought about like putting that as one of the things on the list that we roll for at the end of today. I seriously thought about putting that on there. We might do that for season 4. That would be cool. Like do a whole cartoon universe. Oh, dude. And then we could do like the rides and like the accessory packs and all of that stuff. Oh, that would be so freaking cool. And like figure out what like the special move would be, like you hit the button and he does this, or that's a cool idea. Okay. Oh, yeah, so propaganda, says Dragon Gaming. Absolutely, 100%, because people like their propaganda. Vapor Rub says, I know somebody that made a cool card game with food superheroes called Snack Attack. It was a hit, almost like Pokemon, but better, he says.
Yeah, that's my cousin. I actually did make a card game exactly by that name. I had a whole phase where I wanted to make my own trading card game, but I really didn't know like how mechanics like those worked. But I was making it up on the spot, and the victims of that were my cousins. I'm like, all right, you're playing this game with me now, and they're like, all right, cool. Till this day, my cousin very much enjoys that game. I remembered going on PowerPoint and actually making the actual template of the card, and then I'll print those out, and then I'll actually draw into tiny little squares and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Man, those are the days. How you doing, Caleb? How's the family doing? How's your brother? How's your sister? Anyways, and I am more or less done with my image here, just because I kind of want to speed it up. But I think it kind of embodies what is needed. Oof, my lord.
I dig it. So what were her powers again?
So she has body weapons. So I decided to actually go with the idea that she can convert her actual body to like giant fist or like a spike or whatever it needs to be. And I gave her like the Cosmic Coalition uniform, if you will, kind of like how Jupiter Jack has it. So then this could be like, if Meteor Mandy's not there, you have
See, I thought about doing that today too. As I thought about that as an option of like making other cadets and see what they would be, from other planets. I dig that. I dig that a lot.
Yeah, so maybe we can call her Mutating Mandy or Mutating Melissa. Not Mandy, Melissa. Mutating Melissa. Keep with the alliterations here.
What would be a female name that would go with changing or transforming Teresa? No.
Okay, wait. Changing Chelsea.
Changing Chelsea. There we go. What if you write your own characters that are like old people, but they carry own wisdom to the younger generations? I have a character that's going to be in the trade that's an old person. He's just got a lot of PTSD scars and gets drunk every night.
I mean, if we end up creating a whole like fantasy, if we roll up a fantasy world, I already have like a D&D character. Till this day, my friends will always reference, and they would literally murder a whole universe for him if he asked them to willingly. Where is this guy at? There he is.
Where are you, Willie?
It is this guy over here, Tuga Tugana, the Turtle Monk. Yeah, that was in every like D&D campaign. So he was a former monk who then converted his overall livelihood to being a tavern owner. So he'll basically own a tavern all throughout the land. So you're safe when you're in the tavern with a roof of the shape of a turtle shell. Oh, the Bond just checking in. Glad you figured out who it was. Glad you having a chill time with Mr. Fish. See you soon. Can't wait for the duel. Oh yeah, I can't wait for that one either. Because the fiance and I are gonna have a first duel. Because we're dorks.
How about transforming Trish? Says Jordan. That is a good idea. See? Jordan coming in clinch.
Okay, wait. Loving the name. I totally had this other idea of, but like, hello.
Goodbye.
And I'm here. There's two angles of me.
No!
Exactly. Hi, hon.
Hello. Where's your face?
All right. There it is. I'm here. What's going on?
You want to see who's home now?
Oh, Coco's home? Oh, the crackhead has made it back to her place of living.
And then look.
Y'all in the comments, be quiet.
Yeah, I know. Let's all be quiet, everyone. Hang. Say hi, fiance.
Hi, fiance.
Well, I'm glad she's okay, hon.
Dragon Gaming says, got my arms Crabbo going with Cruel Claw.
All right.
It looks harmless at first, but in the water, he transforms into a big armored shell crab person who can regenerate, breathe, swim in water, and change his clothes.
That's pretty brutal. That's actually pretty awesome.
That's a pretty cool idea.
Okay.
I tell you what, that sounds like somebody who would come up against extra large swimsuit women idea that I had. That
I don't think the crowd knows about that. I don't think the chat or
they probably don't. I'll tell you what, since it's the last episode of season 2,
and while you look for those, I actually have a really cool name for this one. So I've been watching a lot of Kamen Rider and Super Sentai stuff recently. And the common phrase that they state is henshin, meaning to transform. So I love transforming Trish. Has a cool ring to it. But what if this character's name was Henshin Hannah?
Oh, there we go.
Okay, but I'm loving Jordan. That was a killer idea. Love transforming Trish. But Henshin Hannah, I think, fits this one a little bit. That's just my opinion that nobody asked for, though. But, Mr. Fish, would you want to go full screen on your side to show off the extra factor of these characters?
There we go.
Mark the Shark, you didn't miss much. We were actually just, I was just showing off the character that I created, Henshin Hannah. And now Mr. Fish, just for kicks and giggle, is actually showing off you know, an idea that he sporadically had one day. I remembered being in the, like, he literally has me and him have a
This came up real quick, and okay, long story short, my whole family's on my Amazon account, and I got a notification to my text message that the return was accepted for my 3 extra large swimsuit women. And I messaged the family and I was like, okay, who returned 3 extra large swimsuit women? Nobody asked if I wanted one. I personally like extra large swimsuit women. And that got me giggling and got me joking. And then I started thinking, what would that look like? And then I got the idea of like a Hanna-Barbera style cartoon about these 3 superhero girls that like have to basically hang out on the shore all the time because they have to get into the water to get their superpowers and, you know, get wet to grow to extra large size, you know, grow to like 80 or 100 feet tall or whatever. And then you've got these 3 different girls. I can't remember everybody's name exactly. I got it written down somewhere. But like there was like Trish with the power to, you know, with the power of all the ocean life in there. She can replicate the powers of any sea creature. And then, you know, like Linda with the powers of the tides themselves. And then you got Debbie with the power to make everything all about her.
You made those puns. You made the names like puns and stuff like that. I'm actually going to see if I can.
Oh, yeah, they're all puns. And I'm not getting them right except for Debbie. And then there's like, you know, I can't remember Grabby the Wonder Squid or Wonder Puss or something. Just
Grabby
because
the Wonder Puss, yes.
You got to have a funny sidekick. But and the thought of putting a giant octopus in a mask is so funny to me.
That's what it was. It was Tsunami.
That's Tsunami. There we go.
All right, hold on. I'm actually looking through this entire thing right now. What was it? I know you have the. Dang it. It was Tsunami, and then it was another fish punny name or something like that. Where was it?
Aquamarine. That's what it was.
That's the one. Aquamarine. Yeah. So Tsunami, Aquamarine, and Debbie.
Yeah. And yeah, I this is so funny. I want to do it, but I want to do it as a cartoon. I want to do it as like a YouTube animated thing. And I would have to find like 3 female voice actors willing to help me out on it. And that's as far as I got. I stopped on that.
I know, but 3.
I think that would be really fun to do. Even just a video or 2 would be funny. And I love the idea of them just like having to hang out on the beach all the time. Because if they get too far from it, like Aquaman, they would get sick. But like they can't get in it, or they're going to grow to 100 feet tall, so you can't hide. But then trying to also figure out how do you constantly end up with things going wrong on the beach, and you've got like drug deals going down and whatnot.
That actually reminds me of a show that was out there called H2O, where the girls literally turn into mermaids, but that's whenever water touches them. So, you know, that kind of sucks for them because, you know, like they live in Australia, but they live on the coastal side of it. So like they're literally surrounded by water. Mm-hmm. So I can imagine like in their case, they're trying to keep it a secret. But then of course, whenever they're into the actual beach side itself, they grow to, you know, like 50 feet tall, fighting off the sea monsters and drug trades and other people in between.
Let me see.
What do you guys think? Would you guys want this to be like a funny little ash can little comic? Because I also remembered I remember chatting with some other ideas out there of the lifeguard and a jet ski that transforms. So it's like that.
Oh yeah, this is Riptide. Yeah. Yeah, it's Riptide. It is a team up between the coolest dude on the beach and his transforming jet ski. And, you know, they're buddies and all this stuff. And the girls just constantly keep coming across these dudes. And the problem is these dudes are like super toxic masculinity dudes, but they're also on the down low. And they don't want anybody to know that. So, like, they'll just be chilling, going out to brunch together in the morning and, you know, having a nice morning together, sipping mimosas. And the girls happen by and then all of a sudden they're kicking over tables and they're acting like they're holding the restaurant hostage on the pier because we don't want anybody to know, and so all of a sudden they're robbing the place. And it's just stupid. Like they don't have any skill at this. They're just too afraid for anybody to find out what's really going on. And so the girls, have to jump off the pier and turn into superheroes and beat them up. And I think it's so funny. I want to do it so bad, but I got other books I got to do too. And so you got to pick and choose what you're gonna do. But yeah. I like that idea.
And the crab grabbing the bikini like in those old magazines. Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. So then what? There's like a character called the Cruel Claw who's like maybe a crab themed villainous. Hello.
Yeah, that would be cool. Like the dogs and the grabbing the bikini bottom in the old like suntan lotion commercials or ads rather back in the day.
Yeah, but other than that, I'm actually kind of glad I managed to finish this. Obviously, it's rushed for me, but I mean, just because I finally got to draw a character in a pose, because knowing me, I would have just made them stood symmetrically. But
good.
No, it came out great. I actually like the way this came out. So we have Henshin Hannah with Jupiter Jack, Meteor Mandy.
And I have no idea. Probably like Gulnar or something. Like it's going to be a collection of sounds for mine.
It's going to be out.
And she could easily be female. I think she probably is. I don't know how she reproduces, so I'm not worried about that right now. But
and that's okay. Now, Mr. Fish, given how we have been at this for about an hour and 30, and I like to believe that we have collectively finished each of our art pieces to an extent. Do you believe that it is now the time to roll up season 3's setting?
And even if you were to have like a prompt of 10 different things, right? Like say if you had one prompt.
I apologize. I 100% hit the wrong button. But yeah, it's time to roll up.
I know I didn't do anything wrong here. Did I say something?
No. We're going to roll up what our setting is for next time. Probably vomits upper eggs. I think Dadpool's probably right. I was kind of thinking probably stores them in her thorax or something, and like that was what I was thinking too.
Or you could add an abdomen, which would then kind of be like the, maybe like males have.
Well, like she grows a big abdomen when it fills with eggs, and like a balloon sack that swells. Yeah, I like that idea. Okay, now for next season, what we decided to do, since we're going to mix two ideas together, Esteban came up with a list of settings that he's going to roll up, like worlds, like a diesel punk world, frozen frontier, steampunk, western frontier, Renaissance, whatever. That's like the world. And then I came up with like a bunch of themes, for lack of a better term, like dinosaurs, cowboys, samurais, pilots, like pilots being like it's a world up in the air where everybody's flying around in aircraft or balloons or whatever.
So like for instance,
monsters, mobsters, whatever. And then we combine these. Now some of them would match perfectly, like oceanic pirates. And that's my question. If we get Far East samurai, that's not really a mix. If we get oceanic pirates or prehistoric dinosaurs, that's not really a mix.
All right, so here's the caveat that I'm going to put onto this one. If it again, I don't know if they're going to make perfect sense or not, but if it does, we are going to then properly re-roll. We're going to then do it again. So like if say
just you both of us roll again. All right, that's what I wanted to figure out, because I was like I could take one dice away, but and see what I got with that. But
so for Jordan's question, could we add telekinesis? That is yes, for sure, but that is also highly dependent on what we are about to roll. So now that we've officially drawn our art pieces, finalizing the sci-fi saga, we are now going to create the new universe. Now, Mr. Fish, I believe it is only fair that you would roll up my list as I am to roll up your list. So then that way it's like, not completely in our hands here. So all you have to do is roll 2d6, and I will roll 3d6 in the process. And for anyone at home that wants to join along, please do. I cannot wait to see what you guys roll up. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. It's going to be exciting, as I said so. All right, Mr. Fish, go right ahead. Give us a roll.
We got 6, which is Far East.
Far East. Okay. Oh, man, I see a lot of...
now you roll 3d6 for mine.
Yep. Got 3 of them right here. We got... It's going to be number 5.
Samurai! All right. We get to reroll.
Because that was too perfect. That was way too
What
perfect.
are the chances? I told you to be cool, Dice. Come on, man. You're going to make me replace you on screen. All right, fine. We're going old school dots. We're going to count the dots up.
All right. I've been going old school. I have a 10Z set of dice here. So now I'm going to
Cyberpunk Aliens. Oh, you can work those right into that.
You know what, that I would love to see. Again, I know you've been hashtagging it and putting it in our communities. And if you're posting it, make sure to use the hashtag Roll for Hero. I cannot wait to see this entire cyberpunk alien universe you're going to be creating.
Oh, that's
or what other universe you're going to be creating. We can't tell you what to do.
All right, let's go. I got 4, which is Sandalpunk. I doubt we're going to get anything that matches that perfectly.
Okay, so for instance, Sandalpunk is like very desert region. Think Prince of Persia, Aladdin.
Like if ancient Egypt had high-tech stuff, like if they built flying pyramids or flying boats or
like
all the steampunk imagining stuff that we do, except in that old of a world.
All right, we got a hefty one. 9. What is number 12?
Number 12 is Aliens. Oh.
I don't know if we're going to be crash landing into a whole Sandalpunk-like planet filled to the brim with aliens living in a whole desert-like region.
Ooh, cyberpunk monsters. Oh, that's cool. And you can take those monsters any way you want to go with it. Like you could be a monster hunter. It could be a vampires or however you want to do it. Take that in whatever direction you want with it. But that's cool.
So that is it for the next 12 episodes for season 3 of Roll for Hero. We will be creating a Sandalpunk alien world.
That's
filled to the brim with a variety of alien species, filled to the brim with different creatures and potential heroes, villains, and those that are muddied within the sands of time on this planet. I cannot wait to see where we go with this. Now, if you want to still have some time to extend to the chat, maybe they can chuck out some ideas as to what suggestions we should then roll up, for all of season 3. Should we go off of the whole? I feel like we just got to. I don't know if we should stray away from the animal portions of this because I feel like they. It depends. That depends. This is an alien world, so.
It's fun to have something to jump off from.
That is true.
Having to mix 3 animals together makes it kind of hard. Kind of feels limiting. But it's nice to have ideas to jump off of. So.
Okay.
I don't know. I've developed some cool stuff on that, but maybe we take it off.
Our nieces and nephews.
What do y'all think? Do y'all want to let go of the animal stuff and just draw aliens?
Would you want
to what do we want to do in this world? Like, are we going to have superpowers in this world if it's Sandalpunk, or do we want to roll up like some kind of futuristic tech that we could pick from that this person has managed to incorporate, like flight or anti-gravity or locomotion or electricity, or I don't know. I'm just tossing out ideas.
No, but this is good though. So so the way that I'm kind of going about it personally, right? I can imagine this whole world as like kind of like Egyptian aliens.
Like that
Exactly.
Dragon Gaming. That's a good idea.
Yeah, basically just kind of like,
Monsters
honestly,
pop up from the earth.
I would say, here's what I would say.
Okay.
Make
What would you say?
science look like magic in a way, or make the magic look like science, where, you know, the pyramids were made by, you know, aliens kind of a situation. In reality, like spaceships could look like actual pyramids, or basically in a weird way, it's a combination of like ancient tech, if anything, just calling it ancient technology. What we would call ancient technology is how it's like their way of life, using crystals.
Well, and I think my thoughts kind of like you know it, you played it, you've loved it for years. Freaking Minecraft, you know, where like you could turn stone and crystals and things into the shapes that you could harness the power to do what you want to do, and you know, things like that are what I'm thinking of, and incorporating gears and leverage and all of those cool things too.
Oh yeah.
And steam power and water power and things, but like I'm easy to suspend disbelief and say they could harness these crystals to focus energy through the lines we chiseled in the sides of this stone to let us fly this pyramid through outer space or whatever.
Yeah, like I like that idea where it's a combination of, like I said, I call it like magical technology where they're using power.
Mark the Shark is picking from my dreams right there, because Cyberpunk Samurais are one of the things I really wanted to get, and we talked to the DICE about, but they didn't listen. They decided to do their own thing and give other cool ideas. But like, Cyberpunk Samurais and Wild West Dinos were the two things I really hoped we'd get. But
honestly, same here, because I always wanted to draw a cowboy on a dinosaur. I could do that, but again, it makes more sense. No, it's not me, but I mean, it's more fun doing it here on stream, being like, yeah, because, you know, that's what the DICE said. Totally. All righty, everyone. So we officially have our next, God, again, I don't know how we're going to make it work, but we're going to make it work. So we are having an entire Sandalpunk alien world we are working on. What if each of the Egyptian gods were a different alien species from the same planet, just from different regions?
Okay, now Dragon Gaming has just given me an idea for next season. Now hear me out. Now this is our private. This is our private behind the scenes talking. So y'all don't listen. What if we took a list of like the Egyptian gods, if that's what we're using? Though Sandalpunk could be more than Egypt. It could be Rome, whatever. But say we take a list of like say the Egyptian gods and make 6 or 12 of them or whatever. And then we roll for one of those each time, and then we take them off the list and we draw either somebody that works for them or like somebody that is from their species or their world or one of their underlings or one of their henchmen or acolytes. And then that could give us a cool thing to drive us through the series if we've got like 12 of these characters to check off. And roll to see which one we get each time. It's a big cool idea.
No, that is actually that's not too bad. Honestly, we can we can also look into other desert regions. Maybe we can also look into African mythologies and also maybe more of like savannah. Again, Sandalpunk isn't just deserts, but it could also be more like somewhat of a desolate, dry, landscape.
Oh man, you could have like Anansi the spider and like all kinds of other cool stories. That could be really neat.
Oh yeah, so we can tap into like African mythology, we can tap into Egyptian mythology, even tapping into like like Hindu kinds of it's that kind of whole thing. Like tapping into those aspects and those different regions, and then getting to expand upon those, and then being like, okay, what could we then work with here? Not a bad idea.
Oh man, you bring in the Hindu gods. There's some real interesting designs and stuff there, which would easily lend themselves to. What if they were aliens that visited the world, centuries ago? And that would just be hand in hand with,
oh my gosh. And then creating like the whole central conflict of like maybe a lot of these gods are at war. These gods are like at war with each other, but there turns out they're actually aliens on the same planet, just trying to take over and just trying to claim dominion. And then in the process, we have our heroes, we have our villains. We would have like fun viewpoint characters that we would probably draw up on the first episode. And then from there, we'll see like what type of like, who do they work for? Where are they from originally? Who do they team up with? I feel like we can then create our heroes, our villains, our morally gray characters, our side characters, or we can
Oh
kind of
man,
dive.
if we take in the whole world and we've got like the Aztec gods to pull from and the Celtic gods to pull from, and they're all different aliens that have like sent an emissary or two, like old school Hawkman and Hawkwoman. Like, you sent a couple of your guys down here to stake out claim on this planet, and you're trying to like terraform this world for your planet, and so you're building like pyramids and stuff in your style over here, and they're building them over here trying to stake out their claim on this planet. And then you get the different nations fighting against each other, like they're the bad guys, you're the acolytes of the one true alien being, and they're all blasphemers, go take them out. And oh, that could be an epic freaking world right there that needs to be a 300 issue series that I'm not doing, but that could be a really awesome. Yeah.
Oh, this could be
Yeah.
this could
Greg
be
Manden's
the
right.
like, think of it this way. I feel like Jupiter Jack to an extent could be a fun sci-fi Hanna-Barbera cartoon, if we really think about it that way. And I feel like what we're about to work on is like the sci-fi, or is the like science-y fantasy rendition of a Percy Jackson series, where I feel like we can have like a young protagonist, or like maybe we roll up young protagonists as they traverse the world, fighting off different clans, different acolytes from different regions or something like that. That's what I kind of feel like this is personally.
Oh my God. And there's like, and the acolytes from all these different regions, and that have been studying under a particular like god and learning everything he could teach them, then fight off in like a competition, like a Mortal Kombat. Here again, everything just glitched, didn't it?
Is it just me, or did he freeze?
Am I back or no? Because I can see me, but if you can't see me, it doesn't matter.
Hello?
Can you see me now? Hello? Hello, hello, hello. Are y'all going to do a recap of season 2 or taking a break for weeks? If you can hear me, and I don't know if you can,
Okay, hold
we're
on.
going to do a recap.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, there was some glitching. I got to the. Sorry about that. There were some technical difficulties on my end over here. I'm back in action, ready to go. Anyways, what was it that you were saying? So different regions, different acolytes, fighting Mortal Kombat style, and then cut off there.
And then like they're fighting for supremacy. Like, who's going to get control. And I'm thinking like the lower levels, kind of like March Madness, when different factions fight off against each other. Whoever wins that one, their god ends up getting more of the territory on that side of the planet. And which is why like certain ones might get lost over time because this dude won and took control, but then somebody else comes over and like the conquistadors wipe everybody out. But like like you're fighting off against each other for power over the world and for domination. And I think that could be really cool. Dragon Gaming can hear us both, which is good.
Yeah, okay, we're doing good now. So yeah, so again, I feel like that there is a bit of a fun lore that we're starting to develop. Like this world has most of the the way that I'm viewing it personally is like this world has the desolate-esque region. So it would have like African, Hindu, it would have African, Hindu, Egyptian, very desolate, dry regions and whatnot. Very small parts of this world have oceans or waters to even begin with. So I think that could be very interesting to tie into that kind of aspect. And not only that, but then there's also like each of these clans or these world or like these regions are all fighting for dominion. They're basically fighting for world domination. So it also shows that there are no good but no bad sides either. I feel like depending on whoever you are part of, that's like you're fighting for that region alone. I feel like that's something we can really tap into. Again, man, getting to design the warriors for it, getting to design, like the different types of acolytes, their uniforms, that kind of whole thing.
Yeah, your nation's flag and colors, and like what's our go-to marking, that we mark our warriors and stuff with. There's all kinds of cool stuff, like tropes that our nation has that nobody else has. Like in Warhammer, the orcs have like trash all over the outside of their vehicles and like just hammer it together out of junk and make it work magically.
Actually, I was also going to say, not only that, so then do we want to incorporate superpowers with these characters, or should we only incorporate like maybe one or two abilities and just leave it at that, given how we don't want
I'm thinking maybe some abilities. And my question is, do we want to do Earth, or do we want to do an alien planet with an alien species natively on it that these same gods are attacking their world? And
let's do that one. Because with Earth, I feel like
then we could develop like the base alien, and then it splits off from there in different tribes, and maybe the different gods like mess with their genetics, and these guys have 4 arms.
And not only that, we get to create like a bunch of reptile-based creatures that live in a hot environment with their cold blood, and we probably get to see different, like again. Like I'm seeing some like cool ideas of like some anthropomorphic animal ideas here, which again I know I was trying to get away from that, but the fact
that could be where we bring in the animals and we pick like what's the animal species going to be from this part of the world this god is sending. Exactly. This could be really cool and work our way through.
So I'm feeling the hype for it now because again it's a theme that no one would ever. Again, are we expecting to roll this up? Absolutely not. But did we roll it? Yes, we did, and that's going to be the entire.
Got a lot of cool ideas on here. Wild West Wizards. Well, I was really looking forward to that one too, and having like a bunch.
There's
a
lot of ideas.
Sorcerers.
I feel like at some point, maybe after season 3, we don't even have to roll like 2 different lists. We're just gonna come up with like a list of a solid 12 ideas, or like 11 ideas, and it's gonna be like space wizards or dinosaur cowboys and cyberpunk samurais, and we're just gonna have a list like that, and then whichever one we're gonna roll from there, that's gonna be the one that we're gonna do for season 4. But for season 3 right now, it is Sandalpunk Alien World. Now, not only that, wait, we got some awesome comments over here. Rodrigo says, have you seen Pinocchio Unstrung trailer, which is coming up with a horror movie? Actually, no, we did not, but I have heard of it, so it could be very interesting. Again, I'm not into usually like grim and dark things myself. I'm more of a fun, bright and hopeful kind of guy myself. But hey, you got to acknowledge the bright, you have to acknowledge the darkness. Then we got Dragon Gaming saying, let it be twist that the gods take over this alien planet, and the ending be that they set their sights on Earth. Making it like, okay, so it's like a cosmic.
Like that's the end of the story. Whoever, like, they finally end the battle here, and they've split it as much as they can split it, and now they're going to go to the next planet, which is Earth, with these, primates that are walking up right now and losing their hair. Would take them over easily.
And then it turns out that when they worship them and give them their faith, they end up obtaining powers from it, sense of immortality. Who knows? But anyways, also we're gonna do I'm gonna do at least a fun little recap of the characters I've drawn for this entire thing thus far.
We're gonna do that next week. We're gonna go over recap and look at all the characters that we've done, and it's gonna be fun. We're gonna look back at everything and have a good time. But we need to get going because I got another show launching pretty soon, and so.
Yeah, don't want to hold Mr. Fish hostage here. But outside of that, everyone, thank you so much for partaking in season 2 of Roll for Hero. Thankfully, we were in the sci-fi saga, and now we're crash landing on a Sandalpunk world. Outside of that, it is me, your weird Uncle Lee, and of course, my amazing, bald-headed, beautiful co-star, Mr. Fish, signing off by just letting y'all know to stay awesome, stay weird, and to keep life to the easiest. And always remember that art inspires all, but you can inspire more. Until then, everyone, your uncles love you and can't wait to see you in season 3.
Roll for Hero!
And even if you were to have like a prompt of 10 different things, right? Like say if you had one prompt of like, here's 10 different personality traits, here's 10 different superpowers, here's 10 different drawbacks.
I like coming up with random list of powers and then just see what I come up with.
Imagine rolling just those things every single time. It's always going to vary. The possibility of that happening is, again, like a 1 in 10 chance, but it's like, it shows that there's
always something else cool right around the corner. that we can come
Huh.
up with, because there's no